Good day, world. Good Thursday, world. And welcome to another episode of Bandog Talk with the Dog God. And we know we're gonna let some people come up in here before we get this thing started. I see I got one viewer in the building, man. Salute to you. You know, whether we have one or none, I'm gonna carry this torch on. We got two too. We got two. I see we got two in the building, man. Salute to you guys. Much love and respect. But like I was saying, regardless if I have none to 1,000, you know, regardless of how many I have in the, viewing the live, I'm gonna make sure I do this. I'm gonna try to make sure I make time every Thursday to, do this band dog talk. I really feel that it's important for, someone to come out here and really establish, a foundation for us band dog breeders and us band dog enthusiasts. And I'm sure there's others out there, shout out to Lee Robinson doing his thing. And I'm sure there's others out there um, that are campaigning for the band dog. But at the same time, I want to do my thing and represent for the band dog community, so salute to you guys. Um, if you already, if you haven't, man, get comfortable. I don't know if you like, herbal sensations. I don't partake in the herbal sensation, but some of you guys do. Go ahead and get you a stick, roll that thing up, get comfortable. If you're out there in the field, a lot of times I'm out there in the field working. As long as you got your headset in, your earphones in, just listen, be entertained by the information, but if you're in the comfort of your own home, sit back, man, get you a drink, you know, keep your ears open, your mind open, and let's dive deep into this information. Because that's one thing about me, man. I got a lot of information. There's a lot of knowledge from experience, and not only experience, but I also have an ear to hear. I'm a good listener. I ask good questions because I want to learn. I don't know everything, and even if I know a lot, I don't know everything. So anytime I'm able to absorb information, I'm grateful for it, because when I receive information, I apply the shit. I apply the information that I am able to get from others. I never get too high on my horse. You know, even though my horse is high, I don't get too high on it, if that makes sense. Because I understand how hard it is to get to a level. Especially, I mean, with anything in life, it's hard to climb in levels. But the dog game is hard. Dogs is hard because you're dealing with animals. You're dealing with a lot of different variances that's out of your control. So it humbles you when you're in the field with animals, because I, as a person who likes to be in control, can only do so much. I can only control so much. I have to be a mediator more so than a controller, if that makes sense. You know, I have to be a good mediator when it comes to being a dog man and dealing with dogs and also dealing with people, so it humbles you. You feel what I'm saying? So, like I said, I like to listen and learn, and I like to study, and I also like to give back, the information that I've learned in the field, which is my own experience, and from others. So that's what this is all about. That's why I decided to do this podcast. I can easily show you the spoils of war, right? The spoils of war, that's what gets everybody excited. You see somebody selling puppies, or, let's say they got a great kennel business and they're doing great and they're making good money, and they want to show you the spoils of it, right? The fruits of that. And that attracts a lot of people in the dog business. If I showed you, hey, I made $10,000 off of one puppy, and I show you 10 grand, that's going to get a lot of views. It's going to get a lot of hate too. It's going to get a lot of class, but it's going to get a lot of attention because people are excited about things that they want, right? Which is, of course, 10 grand. Everybody wants 10 grand for a puppy. But me as the dog god, I show you guys the work, and more, work 3 times. I don't show you the spoils because it ain't about the spoils. That's few and far between. That takes a lot of work, a lot of it. And I don't want to confuse people who really, are inspired by what they see. They see the dogs that I have, they see the land that I'm on, and they get inspired. And I don't want them to feel that, it's, what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's about is, oh man, I want the land and all the dogs. And nah, it's not just about that. That's a part of it as you grow, but it's about the work. It's about the journey. It's about the steps. You know what I mean? And the work is very important. I stress that all the time. For those of you who follow me on IG, I don't know if you guys follow me on IG, but if you don't, go follow me on IG, man. That's where I'm most active. Okay. My IG is the dog god, AKA the coach, on Instagram. Follow me on there. I'm always preaching. I got to say it with that. Preaching work, and more work 3 times because that's what it takes. Some of you guys have one dog and, you might not have time for that one dog, taking them out, making sure, say if you got a working dog like I do, I have working dogs. You might not have time to take your one dog out to work it. And that dog is actually built for work that you purchased, but you ain't got time for that. I have multiple, at least 30 working dogs. You see what I'm saying? That require my energy. And I'm a one-man band. I'm blessed enough to have a wife, and she helps out when she can, but she's more clerical. She's more of an assistant when I need her. She helps me with the puppies and stuff like that. If I need help building something, she can come in and assist. She's more of an assistant. She ain't in the field like me. I'm in the field though, one-man band. Okay. And I got 30. And a lot of people only have one and don't put in that work. You know what I mean? So I always want to make sure that people understand when it comes to these dogs, it takes a lot of work. So that's what you're going to get from me. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm going to be transparent with you guys because I want you guys to understand what it takes, man. I want you to understand what it takes to be a dog man or dog woman. And I want you to be inspired by being original and being like the founders of breeds, all the breeds that are already established. I want you to be inspired like them, those people who created the breeds. And that's what's beautiful. That's what's beautiful about Bandogs. It's such a new, it's not new in the term because Bandogs have been around for centuries, but it's a new avenue that people are starting to be interested in, right? Being able to create a dog, the ultimate personal and property protection dog, right? But being able to create mixed breeds, see, is very fascinating to people now. And that's a good thing because that's how the individuals who created the breeds that we love today, pit bull, bulldogs, Malinois, German Shepherds, Great Danes. I go on and on about all the breeds that are, Bandog, being in the Bandog community, we can do that and we ain't got to lie to kick it. You shouldn't have to lie to kick it anyway, which we know in the dog world, people always be lying. They ain't telling you the truth about what's in their dogs. And that's their prerogative. They can do what they want. But in the Bandog community, right, we could be honest. And ain't nobody going to shame you and call your dog a mutt. Even though there's a lot of ignorant people out here in the dog world that want to call dogs mutts, when every dog on the planet created by mankind is a mutt. Think about it. Okay. If the original dog was the wolf and man, connected with the wolf and started doing what they call selective breeding, which is manipulating the genes and taking away from the original essence of the wolf and creating dogs based off of what man wanted, that's a mutt. Mixed breeding, mixed breeds. You know what I'm saying? So everything is a mutt if we want to be technical about it. But see, being that we in the Bandog community, we should have a purpose, just like those who created the breeds when they were mixing breeds to create a breed, they had a purpose. So in a Bandog community, we have a purpose. You know what I'm saying? So salute to you guys for coming out. The two of you guys here, like I said, it don't matter how many's here. It could be none, but I'm gonna make sure I'm consistent with what I do, because that's one thing that I am. I'm very consistent, man. And I don't mind being the only one. I'm used to it. Like I said, one man band. I'm used to being by myself in the field. It's just how I operate. I'm self-motivated, and I'm a firm believer in the Most High God through Jesus Christ. So I'm comfortable by myself. You know what I mean? But at the same time, for those few who want to join in, want to listen, man, I got a lot of knowledge to give y'all, man. I'm not a covetous energy. I don't covet what God has blessed me with through my experiences. I want to give it, I want to bless others with the information. So salute to all you guys who are, here on the live today. I'm going to break down, as you see on the little ticker there, I want to break down my Bandog recipe, the best way I can. And I want to, kind of give you an idea of what I was thinking when I decided to use the breeds that I'm using for my Bandog recipe. Now, the beautiful thing about Bandogs, as long as you have, now this is me speaking to you. I'm not speaking for nobody else but myself. You know what I mean? As long as you have a Mastiff, I'm going to say this, a Mastiff and a bull breed. So I even opened it up even more than what some could say. Well, no, it's a specific Mastiff and a specific bull breed. You see what I'm saying? Like, I opened it up because that's the beauty of us getting into Bandogs. You can use whatever you choose. And I encourage that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the beauty of being in tune with Bandogs. We can do what we want to do with these dogs. You see what I'm saying? So Mastiff breed and a bull breed, right? Now, with what I'm using though, okay, I was blessed enough, and I talked about this on a previous episode of Bandog Talk, how I was able to connect with buff dogs. And I would honestly say that was the grace of God that allowed that to connect for me. It was a timing play. I'm sure if I tried now, I wouldn't get a hold of them. If I tried before that, I wouldn't get a hold of them. I would have never connected with them if it wasn't for timing. And I give that all to the Most High God. It was just timing. I had my money right. It was the time that I was looking. I reached out. They actually had puppies that they weren't selling to the public, but they had so many. It was timing. It was just timing. And then we connected. Okay. So from that point on, I was introduced to Bandogs through them. Okay. I was just a fan. You know how a lot of us are fans? I was just a fan of their dogs, just for what I saw. I didn't even know what they had. I knew they had some bulldog type, but I didn't know anything about Bandogs. I was into pit bulls and I was into bullies at that time. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to talk about, like, what was it specifically about the actual breeds, okay, that buff dogs used. And I don't necessarily know why they chose the breeds. I know one of the breeds why, and I'll explain, but I don't necessarily know why they chose the breeds that they chose. However, I know why I chose the breeds that I chose to add to the breeds that they chose. Okay. So I'm going to hypothetically explain to y'all why I think that they chose the breeds for their band dogs, and then I'm going to tell you specifically why I chose the breeds to add to their breeds to create my band dogs. You know what I'm saying? So, come along with me. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break down the what's and the whys, and then I'm also going to go into the breed type and kind of, you know, we're going to look into the breeds and see, you know, the characteristics of each breed and see if it makes sense. And then, we're going to see if we can break down this formula so that you guys can see my vision and see, what I'm cooking versus what everybody else is cooking. You know what I'm saying? Like what my projection of my dogs are, because it's a projection. You know what I'm saying? You have an idea, and hopefully that idea projects and then turns into something that is a reality. You know what I'm saying? It's a vision first, and then hopefully it becomes a reality. So, this is the process of that through the genetic formula. All right. So let's start with buff dogs. All right. So let me. Hey, if y'all got your cocktail or something like that, man, go ahead and take a sip real quick. You got your herb. If you smoke herb, go ahead and take you a puff, whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and take me a sip of my cocktail, and then we're gonna get in. We're gonna get deep into this. And for those of you who don't know, I had a long day at work, you know. And my subscribers on IG, my paid subscribers, I got something for y'all, man. I got a story for y'all. I had a vicious story today, man. Remember my pack life? You know what I mean? When I was telling you about my pack experiment. If you're my subscribers, you know what I'm talking about. I showed y'all, I've been telling y'all about my pack experiment. I got these dogs off of AK-47 chopper, my double XL pit bull freaking nature. I got a Bandog version of him, and then I got what I call an XL pit bull version of him. And I have males in a pack, and I have females in a pack. And I've been experimenting trying to get dogs with prey drive to understand how to be in a pack, but also being that they want to attack, right? Because that's their drive. They can say, okay, we're cool, we're gonna fight, but I don't want to kill you. You know what I'm saying? So I've been trying to teach my dogs who want to kill, because it's in their genetics, not to kill each other in a pack. And that's been, oh man, it's been touchy. So that's on a whole nother subject. So for my subscribers, I got something for y'all. I got a video for y'all. But let's go back into the subject matter at hand tonight. So, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try my best to get into the mind of Joe and Jackie. I'm going to say Joe because Joe is the breeder. Jackie handled the business, which is their husband and wife combo with buff dogs. And I dealt with Jackie, but I had Joe on the sidelines because she relayed everything to Joe about our conversation. So I definitely had him in the background, but I dealt with Jackie. But Joe was the breeder, the husband. Okay, so I'm gonna get into the mind of Joe and why he decided to use the breeds that he decided to use for his foundation band dogs. Okay, which is my foundation because I bought that. I bought the genetics, right? And you guys already know. If y'all follow me already, you already hear me always say, "Got DNA, we do." So everything is based off of DNA. So here we go. So when I was talking to Jackie, right, I was like, I'm interested in your foundation, DNA. Like, I want to do band dogs. Now that you explained to me what band dogs were and are, I want to do what you guys did, but I want to do me, right? So, of course, she broke down, the breeds that they used, which happened to be a Neapolitan Mastiff Sport. She specifically said that. Now, until I understood it, there's no such, I'm not going to say no such thing, right? There's no breed standard for a Neapolitan Mastiff Sport. However, I understood what she meant by a Neapolitan Mastiff Sport, right? because she broke it down to me in a sense. And then I was like, okay, I get it. You know what I mean? So what she was saying with the Neapolitan Mastiff Sport is it's the Neapolitan Mastiff with not as much wrinkles on it. Okay. Now, I don't know how they bred those, but that's how she explained the Neapolitan Mastiff Sport. Still a Neapolitan Mastiff, but it's not heavily, it's not that, it doesn't have all that heavy wrinkles. It got the wrinkles, but not heavy. So she said they used a Neapolitan Mastiff Sport. Okay. And now what I'm going to do, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the breed recipe for the foundation, and then we're going to go into what a Neapolitan Mastiff is, what the other dogs are, and then, then I'll give my theory, right? So she said they used a Neapolitan Mastiff Sport. She said they used a German Boxer, and they used an American Bulldog for their foundation, right? That's their foundation. Those three breeds, right? So me being new to Bandogs, I have no clue, right? I have no clue of what that means. I have no clue about why they used it. I have no clue about Bandogs other than what she's telling me. So I'm a virgin. I'm just like, I'm getting touched for the very first time in my mind about dogs. And I've never owned a Neapolitan Mastiff. I've never owned a German Boxer. And I just started getting into American Bulldogs. I didn't even own an American Bulldog at that time. So I don't know nothing about those breeds. I'm a pit bull man and bully man at that time. So, but I'm infatuated by what she's saying because I'm a dog man. So, and I love performance. So when she's telling me these breeds, I'm like, okay, what's Neapolitan man? Why are you using Neapolitan man? What's German Boxer? Okay, what's this? What's that? So let's go into this real quick. Okay, let's go ahead and tap into the Neapolitan Mastiff here, right? We're going to use Wikipedia, right? So bear with me, y'all. And like I said, I'm just going to breeze through this. We're not going to, get into everything, but we just want to I just want to show you what I had to go ahead and do. I had to do my research. When she gave me the recipe, I had to do my research. And that's what I encourage all you guys to do, especially if you're into dogs. Do your research on the breed and just learn some things so that you know the genetic characteristics of the dogs that you're going to use if you're doing band dogs, right? Because that's the whole purpose. It's like parts of a car, right? So we got the Neapolitan Mastiff, and we're just using Wikipedia. We're going to keep it simple. All right, so it says the Neapolitan Mastiff or Mastino Napolitano. Okay, excuse, y'all can read, y'all can see that shit. You know what I mean? So don't be holding me to these names and stuff. Okay, it says it is an Italian breed of large dog of Mastiff type. It descends from the traditional guard dogs of central Italy. It was recognized as a breed by the Ente, what's that? Nazionale della Cinefila Italiana in 1949 and accepted by the whatever, right? In 1956. Okay, it's closely related to the Cane Corso. So, okay, we already know that the Cane Corso is crossed with a Mastiff, but it's telling you that it's closely related to the Cane Corso as you see the Cane Corso. All right, so we're just going to read the history and we're going to keep it moving. It says the Neapolitan Mastiff derives from the traditional catch and guard dog of central Italy. Selection of the breed was begun in 1947 by Piero Scanzanini, whatever, right? Who had seen one at an exhibition in Naples in 1946. He drew up the first standard, which in 1949 was officially recognized by the Ente, okay, whatever, right, y'all? Okay. It received full acceptance from the whatever, right, y'all? In 1956. Okay. So characteristics, the Neapolitan Mastiff is large and powerful with a weight in the range of 50 to 7 kilometers or kilograms, 110 to 150 pounds, and a height at the withers of 60 to 75 centimeters, 24 to 30 inches. The length of the body is about 15% greater than the height. The skin is abundant and loose, particularly on the head where it hangs in heavy wrinkles. The preferred coat colors are black, gray, and leaden but mahogany fawn, Floverus, hazelnut, dove gray, and isabelline, okay, are also acceptable. All coats may be brindle, and minor white markings on the toes and chest are tolerated. A Neapolitan Mastiff may be expected to live for up to 10 years. A survey in the in the United Kingdom found an average lifespan of 7 years, with some 16% living past the age of 9 years old. Okay, so you guys see the look of that dog, right? So what Jackie was telling me, she said that it was Neapolitan Sport and didn't have all them wrinkles. So this one don't seem as wrinkly as some of the ones that I've seen. I'm sure you guys have seen some that have even more wrinkles than that one right here. This one that I'm pointing at right here, right? So I would say they probably used one that was similar to this one, maybe a little bit less wrinkles, but something similar to this, right? Okay. So y'all see that? All right, cool. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. So that was the first ingredient to their recipe, was a Neapolitan Mastiff Sport. The next ingredient was the German Boxer. All right. So let's go ahead and, you know, tap into the German Boxer. Now before I tap into the German Boxer, she specifically told me that the reason why they use the German Boxer is because in Colorado, pit bulls were illegal. Okay, in Colorado at that time. Maybe they still are. I don't know. But she said that the pit bulls were illegal. So Joe decided to use the German Boxer. Okay, so me, studying the German Boxer, just the boxer in general. Okay, I came to my own conclusion why, and we're gonna get into that. But let's break down the boxer, okay, real quick. All right, so let's do that real fast here, man. Let's do that here really quickly. All right. All right, so okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to briefly go over some of this stuff because they actually gave a nice little extensive breakdown of the boxer. But we're just going to go into the breed description. I want to also go into the history of the boxer and then also the use of the boxer, and then that helped me understand why Joe chose the boxer. He could have chosen any other dog. He could have chose whatever he wanted to choose. But like I said, I'm getting into the mind of why, because I never had a chance to really ask that, because like I said, I was a virgin to the concept of what a Bandog was. I was just in the, buying DNA mode at that time, and I just wanted the recipe. So I wasn't, I didn't have the questions that I have now. So over time, I had those questions, so I had to research why myself. So I'm just breaking it down in theory for y'all. You understand? All right, so let's break down the boxer, to see, okay, why Joe might have said, okay, German boxer, like, so let's break it down. Okay, so it says the boxer, right, is a medium to large short-haired dog, okay, dog breed of Mastiff type developed in Germany. The coat is smooth and tight-fitting. Colors are fawn, brindle, or white, with or without white markings. Okay, boxers are brachycephalic. What's that? Brachycephalic. Philiac. They have broad, short skulls, have a square muzzle, mandible prognathism, and underbite. Okay, so they giving us the whole terminology. Very strong jaws, okay, which is cool, and a powerful bite, ideal for hanging on to large prey. Okay, so understand that. Now, a lot of people want to downplay the underbite. Okay, and I actually heard, you know, a respected Bandog breeder kind of downplaying dogs with underbites. I'm not going to say any names, but obviously, if you putting these breeds together and you have these underbites and you have it for a reason and they're functional, because the key is functional, and they're functional, then if it's saying that these powerful jaws and these underbites are good for hanging on to large prey, then it must be you know good, right? Because that's what you're seeing in the field. Those breeders who put these dogs together is seeing this in action, and that's why they're okay. Say, I want this in my breed type because I'm seeing how these underbites are, you know, have some advantage when it comes to hanging on to large prey. So we'll continue. Okay, so it says the boxer was bred from the Old English Bulldog and the now extinct Bullenbizer, okay, which became extinct by crossbreeding rather than by a decadence of the breed, or excuse me, decadence of the breed. I'm sorry. The boxer is a member of both the Kennel Club and American Kennel Club, AKC, working group. The first boxer club was founded in 1895, with boxers being the first exhibited in a dog show for St. Bernard's in Munich the next year. Based on 2013 AKC statistics, boxers held steady as the seventh most popular breed of dog in the United States for the fourth consecutive year. According to the AKC website, though the boxer is now the 11th most popular dog in the United States. Okay, we're not going to get into the appearance because that's not important to the recipe. All right, now let's go into the history so we know, okay, what these dogs were used for, because that's very important when you're putting together band dogs and stuff like that. We need to know what the abilities of the breeds are before we put them in our recipes. Okay, especially if you're trying to produce the ultimate personal and property protection dog. All right, so check this out. It says the boxer is a hunting mastiff developed in Germany in the late 19th century. Okay, hold on. Let me slide this over so I can read this. All right. From the now extinct Bullenbizer, a dog of English Mastiff descent, and bulldogs brought in from Great Britain. The Bullenbizer had been working as a hunting dog for centuries, employed in the pursuit of bear, wild boar, and deer. Its task was to seize the prey and hold it until the hunters arrived. In later years, faster dogs were favored, and smaller Bullenbizers were bred in Brabant in North Belgium. Excuse me, in northern Belgium. The Barbanter Bullenbizer is generally accepted as being a direct ancestor to today's boxers. Okay, in 1894, the Germans, okay, Friedrich Roberts, okay, Allard Koenig, and like I said, forget these names, y'all. Okay, I'm not a German, so don't be holding me accountable to these names. Okay, so we're gonna say Hopner decided to stabilize the breed and put it on exhibition at dog shows. This was done in Munich in 1896, and the year before they found the first boxer club, the Dutcher Boxer Club. The club went on to publish the first boxer breed standard in 1904, a detailed document that has not been changed much since. The breed was introduced to other parts of Europe in the late 19th century and to the United States around the turn of the 20th century. The AKC registered the first boxer in 1904 and recognized the first boxer champion, Dampf von Dum, okay, in 1915 during World War I. The boxer was co-opted for military work, acting as a valuable messenger dog, pack carrier, attack dog, and guard dog. The boxer did not become popular around the world until after World War II. Taken home by returning soldiers, the dog was introduced to a wider audience and soon became a favorite as a companion, a show dog, and a guard dog. Okay, so let's keep it going here. Let's keep it going here. We're going to go into uses. Okay, so this right here could be the reason why Joe decided to add the boxer because he understood the uses of the dog, and that should be for us who are doing band dogs. We need to understand what that dog was bred for, right? So it says boxers are friendly, lively companions, right? Got to have a companion dog too when it's supposed to be a protector. So that's good to have that as a companion. That are popular as far as family dogs. Their suspicion of strangers, alertness, agility, and strength make them formidable guard dogs. Okay, so right there alone, okay, that would have me okay. But damn, I might want to use that. You know, let's keep it going. They sometimes appear at dog agility or dog obedience trials and flyball events. These strong and intelligent animals have also been used as service dogs, guide dogs for the blind, therapy dogs, police dogs and canine units, and occasionally herding cattle or sheep. The versatility of boxers was recognized early on by the military, which has used them as valuable messenger dogs, pack carriers, and attack and guard dogs in times of war. Okay, so that right there, okay, that use alone right there would tell me I want to use that dog in my recipe. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm getting into the mind of Joe, why he decided the German boxer, not the American boxer, right? Not that watered down American. You know what I mean? Us Americans, we be watering down shit because you got to worry about PETA. You got to worry about BSL. You got to worry about all these people that want to hate on performance dogs, right? But for people who originated the breeds, they had reason why they were using dogs. There was a purpose why these dogs were functional working dogs. So you were picking dogs off based off of what they can do, not what they look like. In America, it's about what they look like, So now understanding this use description of the German boxer, I can see why. Because me personally, I probably wouldn't have used the German boxer, me personally. But now that I went into his mind because I got his recipe, I get it. Okay. So now the next breed, right, that he used the American Bulldog. Okay. Some of you guys who are familiar with American Bulldogs, some of you guys aren't. This is when I decided to tap into, when I got in contact with Jackie and Joe, this is when I decided to tap into the American Bulldog, because the dog that I first was fascinated with from them, their dog, was an American Bulldog. At first, when I first saw the dog in '05, I thought it was a bully because a lot of the bullies were built like that. But it was an American Bulldog. Excuse me. So when I found out it was American Bulldog that I was, fascinated with, I was like, oh man, I want to get into American Bulldogs. So I started to, tap into American Bulldogs, learning about American Bulldogs. But the reason I would say, and this is just my theory, why they chose the American Bulldog was because of the structure of the dog, right? And with the American Bulldogs, the frames, right? The wide fronts. They should have matching rears too. A lot of times the fronts don't match the rears, but the wide fronts, the big rears, the big heads, the athleticism, the durability, right? So when I was told American Bulldog, that quickly came into my mind. Like, okay, the frame and the muscle and the durability of the dogs. That's why y'all chose them. Now I don't necessarily know why, but that's just my theory. So let's go into the American Bulldog real quick, so we know. And like I said, we're not going to go into everything. We're just going to go into just a description. And let's see what else we're going to do. Okay, we don't even need to go into the history. We can go into the history. We're not going to go into that. We'll just go into the description, right? Okay, so the American Bulldog, okay, is a large, muscular breed of Mastiff type. So, you see we have a consistent theme going on with what Joe was thinking, right? Mastiff type, which of course Bandogs is a Mastiff type, right? As far as the formula is concerned, it's not the name, it's not the breed type. It's the formula type. Understand the difference, okay? Bandog is not a breed, okay? But it's the formula type, because that's what we're talking about, formulas right now. So it says the American Bulldog is a large muscular breed of Mastiff type that was used as stock dogs, catch dogs, and guardians on farms and ranches. Okay, the breed is descended from the Old English Bulldog, which is thought to have arrived in America as early as the 17th century, brought over by working class immigrants from England. During World War I and World War II, the breed was on the verge of extinction, with the only surviving dogs being kept primarily on farms in the Southeast. John D. Johnson, right? The Johnson type. Y'all know about the Johnson types, right? And Alan Scott, the Scott type, are widely regarded as the forefathers of rescuing the breed from extinction. Okay. On January 1st, 1999, the United Kennel Club first recognized the American Bulldog. In November 2019, the American Bulldog was added to the American Kennel Club Foundation stock services. Okay. So if you guys want, type in, Bulldog and Wikipedia, you can go ahead and break down the history of the American Bulldog, right? And so you can understand, where it derived from, why they were using it, etc. But what I want to do is I want to break down my theory of why Joe from Buff Dogs decided to use these 3 dogs for his foundation Bandog genetic recipe. Okay. And he produced legendary dogs, one in particular, but legendary dogs that people who know about them can all attest to. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to band dogs and what you use them for, anybody who got these earlier dogs, like they're like I said, anybody that got anything off of that 3 recipe, anybody that I've met via the groups, right? Because on Facebook, right, they got a lot of these Facebook groups, right, y'all? They got a lot of Facebook groups, and you post things. I post things. I'm gonna speak for myself. I post things on there. I post dogs, and I mention Buff Dogs, and then you get a lot of feedback. Man, where all Buff Dogs? Where they been at? Oh, you got Buff, all that shit, and then you meet people who've owned them dogs, the early ones, and they all brag about them dogs, not bragging about what they look like, but what they did. You see what I'm saying? Like the performance of them dogs. They all bragged about the early ones. So when I look at the foundation recipe, Neapolitan Master Sport, American Bulldog, German Boxer, right? Those 3. And then whatever they decided. So from there on, they went more Bulldog. They kind of went, not kind of, they did. They went more Bulldog because what Jackie told me, they were going more for a look. They named Buff Dog, right? They wanted a dog to look like a bodybuilder. Okay. So their vision leaned more toward the look versus the performance. The earlier versions of those dogs, which is what we're talking about, the 3-piece recipe, the 3 genetics, those dogs were performers that did the job and actually did the job to the extreme. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by the extreme, right? So Jackie told me, and when a breeder's retired and they don't have nothing to prove because they're not even in the game no more, and you build a rapport, they tell you the truth. You see what I'm saying? And she told me the truth because she's not even in the game. They're not selling dogs. They're out of the game. They got rid of all their dogs. They only got a remnant of their shit, and it's not even to the public. They're out of dogs. So she started telling me all the shit that she was getting back from clients about the dogs that she was selling them, right? Because when you're in the game a while, right, and you start selling a lot of dogs, they've sold a lot of dogs all over the world. People start telling you about the productions that they bought, right? So the earlier ones, she was telling me, off of the Red Bull, the 3-piece recipes, which is Red Bull is their foundation, Bandog, which is the Neapolitan Master German Boxer American Bulldog cross. Everything off of that dog, okay, the earlier stages, them dogs was killers. Whether it be you got it around livestock and you ain't, you know what I'm saying, you're not giving that dog the proper training and proper discipline. Let's say you just got it in the backyard because it's cool. You got you a, oh, I got me a band dog, you just leave it in your yard. Now that dog is, leaving up to its own devices, it's trying to figure out how it's going to operate, and that dog is, is killing your livestock, killing cows, killing sheep, killing cats, or you got it in your yard and you got the delivery guy coming up and it's mauling the delivery guy, it's mauling the mailman. Like, she's telling me all these horror stories about the earlier band dogs that she had, the ones directly off of Red Bull, that 3-piece recipe I'm telling you guys about, So now with me, right? I like that. I don't want that to be the case because that's a liability, but I like that in a dog. I like a dog that's going to, do what it's got to do, right? But at the same time, you need to, educate your clients when they buy these dogs, how to deal with a dog that has that type of a drive. You know what I mean? So she was telling me that the earlier dogs that they produced were real band dogs, ultimate personal and property protection dogs. She didn't have no problems with them dying for overheating. She had no problems with them dying because of bad hips, she had no issues with the earlier dogs. She said their issues started to happen when they started to, infuse other breeds like the Old English, when they started to really focus on look versus performance. Okay. So, but we're going back to the reasons why he chose the foundation breed, because that's where I'm at. Because I actually have a dog of their latest one, because that's how I got in contact with them, was inquiring about a dog, any dog from them. And so I was able to get their latest breed, which is my boy Red Tiger and his brother Brutus. I bought 2 dogs, but then I also was able to finesse, okay, their foundation, which what we're talking about, which is the Neapolitan Mastiff, German Boxer, American Bulldog cross, which happens to be a dog named Red Bull that I got straws from, and a dog named Roman I got straws from, which is his little mate brother, these 2. Okay, and there are 3 dogs mixed in those. So I got the foundation and I got their latest one. Okay, I got the ones that, was mixed with all the other shit in there too. Other bulldogs, Old English bulldogs, shit like that. So this is my theory, okay, on why Joe chose the dogs that he chose. Now, we know the Neapolitan Mastiff. If y'all know the Neapolitan Mastiff, I mean, come on, man. Anybody know the Neapolitan Mastiffs, that dog ain't no joke. That's a mean dog. That's a guard dog. And if that dog puts his jaws on you, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. And those wrinkles and all that stuff is for it to take damage. You know what I'm saying? It can, all that skin. Imagine, something biting, a bear biting and all that skin. You ain't getting to any vital organs with all that skin. So the reason for that genetic recipe, I understand why they chose the Neo. Its toughness, its ability to be a guardian, its size, right? So I see the Neo. I get it. And in the sport, I understand, well, it don't, if I don't want all that loose skin, which I don't want all the loose skin, me personally. Joe don't want the loose skin. I'm going for the ones that don't got the loose skin, but still got the genetic attributes of a Neo. So if that's what they call a Neapolitan sport, I'm looking for those too, by the way. So I can see why he chose the Neapolitan Mastiff Sport. So I get that. Boom. Okay. Guardian, tough, big, strong. Okay. Man biter, prey biter, all that. Neapolitan Mastiff, done. Okay. And of course, that's part of that Bandog recipe, right? Neapolitan Mastiff Sport. Now, German Boxer. We tapped into the German Boxer, right? I can see why they chose the German Boxer. Okay. Agility wise, I love the structure of a boxer. Me personally, I love that structure. I love their angulation. Smart dogs, could be used for carrier dogs, cattle dogs, war dogs, so using the boxer, I can see why they chose that, right? So that to me would clean up the Neapolitan Mastiff a little bit more than what it is, right? It would tighten up the skin. It will give it better angulation, right? Clean up the structure, give it some more attributes, genetic attributes. I can see why they chose that, right? And the American Bulldog, right? The grit, okay? The frame of the American Bulldog, let's widen it out. Let's widen the frame out because that's what you're going to get. Let's give it some thicker rears. You should get that if you choose the right American Bulldog. You know what I mean? Let's broaden the head. You know what I'm saying? Let's add more muscle. Okay, the grit, the drive, all that American Bulldog. So I can see why. So those three, I get it. Okay, now I was blessed. Okay, a lot of you who are in the Bandogs, you guys got to start from scratch unless you tap into a breeder like I did, who already has a formula that you can build on. And I would suggest that if you guys are new to Bandogs, tap into a breeder that has the genetics that's already established in the dog. You understand? So that you ain't got to go from step 1 to step 2 because it's hard. Because you're not guaranteed to get what you want just because you mix and breeds, man. And I know a lot of you who follow Bandogs, there's a lot of Bandogs out there that got cool breeds that look like shit. Really. They don't look good. The mixes don't look good. Maybe because the family of breed of dog that they use don't go with the other family of breed of dog that they use. So when that hybrid vigor comes in, it don't produce nothing that look good. The dog might perform cool though. You know what I mean? Which is cool because performance is first. But if you really want to be prominent in the Bandog game, if you want to call it that, you got to have the complete package, man. Especially if you want to make money off your dogs. If you want to sell them for, 500, whatever, because you experimenting on some Frankenstein shit, then be my guest. But if you want to create something that people are appealing, like it's eye appealing, but then you tell them the dogs that's in there and they're like, ooh, you got to know what you're putting in there. You got to be specific about the breed. And not only that, the family of dogs that you put in these dogs, right? So this is, like I said, this is my theory about buff dogs, okay? Because this is how I was able to get my foundation from them, okay? Now, when I saw Red Bull, which is that Neapolitan Mastiff German Boxer American Bulldog, when she showed me a picture of Red Bull, because I didn't even know about Red Bull, okay? I didn't even know about that dog. I knew about one dog I saw on YouTube, which was American Bulldog. When she showed me that dog, I was like, I was in awe. I was like, what? That's what that created? She's like, yeah, that's what that created. German boxer, American Bulldog, Neapolitan Mastiff Sport created this dog. I'm like, wow, I'm in awe. I mean, a dog that had a nice headpiece, had broad chest, muscular, big rears. Oh man, intimidating dog. That dog looks sexy to me. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow. But the dog was a working dog. Okay, what I mean by that is that it was able to do what the breeds, right? All the breeds that's in that dog, it was able to do what those breeds genetically said it can do, right? What a Neapolitan can do, what a German Boxer can do, what American Bulldog can do, right? This is what she told me. Okay, and then from those who know about Red Bull, they can attest. For those who bought dogs directly off of Red Bull, they can attest to this. They're a witness to this. Okay. So much of a witness that many people wanted straws or wanted to stud off of Red Bull when he was living. And Joe would not stud him out. Okay. So that lets you know, the value of that dog, that one dog, to him in his program, that he's like, I'm not allowing you guys to get direct genetics from him. I'm going to dictate what this dog does. And you could buy his offspring, but you're not going to be able to dictate what this dog is and what this dog can do for your program. You know what I'm saying? So that's how he valued that dog so much that he would only sell the offspring. He would not sell the semen. It took me, okay, when he retired, to finesse him out. And what I mean by finesse him is he didn't want to sell me the foundation blood. He didn't want to. He told his wife no. As I asked her, and I heard him in the background, I was like, no, I can't do that. So he was already stuck, like, no. But because I was in a position to offer an amount and I was doing multiple dogs, it wasn't just, oh, I just want him. I I bought 6 of his dog straws, multiple straws off of each. So it was a nice amount of money, right? So I knew that if he was retired and I offered him money that he wasn't expecting at this point, but he might have needed. Obviously, he needed it because he accepted it. But I was in a position to offer him something that I knew that if I was in this position and I was retired and somebody offered me that, I would, I'm retired, right? I don't have a hold over the game like I did when I was active, like he was, right? Where if I was active, I wouldn't have did it. You know what I'm saying? I would have held firm like him because I controlled the offspring and people buying my dog, so they're gonna buy his offspring. Can I get a puppy off of Red Bull? But directly semen so you can control the narrative? Nah. But being that he was retired, I knew, real talk, I knew that once I actually offered him that money and I made it a package deal on multiple, it would be hard for him to refuse. And that's what happened, really. So that's what I mean by finessed him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do no crazy shit, but I just hit him with the play. So when it comes to a dog like Red Bull, okay, that has the look, okay, that I was like, wow. Like I would have known that those 3 breeds was in that dog, but just the dog itself wowed me. But then when he told me the recipe, I was like, oh, okay, I would have never thought of that. To produce that dog, I would have never thought of those 3 dogs to produce Red Bull, right? And so from that point of seeing Red Bull, Joe also showed me another dog, okay, which was Red Bull's brother. His name was Roman, okay. And I don't think many people even seen Roman. Honestly, I don't even think many people. I don't even know if he even used them. To be honest, because when I show people Roman, nobody's ever said like, "Oh, I got a dog off of that." People have said they've gotten dogs off of Red Bull when they seen when I post Red Bull, but no one has ever said that they gotten a dog. And I'm not saying that they haven't, but I haven't had anybody who seen Roman, and everybody loves Roman, say that, Buff Dog, I got one off of him. And even when Joe offered me that, it was more like I would say it was like this. Why he even offered that to me, I would feel like is because I made him it's almost like stroking somebody's ego, right? When you make him such a good offer and you're showing him respect, even though he's retired, and the dog man that he used to be sees the dog man that I am. He's like, man, you know what? What if I offered him? I'm gonna offer him something. I'm gonna give him a bonus. I'm gonna go ahead and offer him Roman. Nobody knows about this dog, and I ain't even use him. But he said he want my foundation. He paid good dollars for his seed, for all these semen that he asked me for. So I'm gonna see if he want this. I'm gonna bless him with this. Here, you want this one too? And of course, me being who I am, Mr. God DNA, I was like, hell yeah, I want it. Oh, yes. So I got him too, which is his little mate brother, which they look different. Just think about the genetic recipe of those 3 dogs. Every dog in that litter is going to look different, right? Because there ain't no family of dogs to make a consistent litter. It's 3 different breeds of dogs. So every puppy is going to look different because the genetics is so broad, it's so spread out. So you look at Roman and you look at Red Bull, even though they're from the same parents, the same genetic recipe, they're 2 different dogs. So he blessed me with 2 different dogs with the same genetic foundation recipe, man. He blessed me with that because I came correct with my vision and my money. A lot of people, especially with this internet shit, like to talk dogs, but ain't got the money that they talking dogs about. You want the DNA, but you ain't willing to pay for it. That's the problem with today in the internet. People talk about the level of dogs that they want genetically, not the way they just look, but the genetics. But they expect to get it for nothing. And that's not how it works. Okay? That's not how it works. That's not how you get a dog man to give up his recipe. You got to come with your money because it's genetics. And genetics are valuable, man. Trust me. If a dog man put in a lot of work and he did that and you see that, pay it, pay the man for that shit. Especially if you're a breeder. If you are, you want a pet, you know what I'm saying? Go buy a pet. Really. Go buy a pet if you want a pet. If you want a performance dog, it's like if you want a performance car and you got the money to buy the best performance car, well, guess where you're going? You're going to Ferrari. You're going to go to the Ferrari dealership. You're going to the Lamborghini dealership. You're going to the Porsche dealership. You see what I'm saying? And then when they hit you with that price tag over your head and they're not looking to negotiate, you ready to pay because you already know the value of it. Same thing with your dogs. So that's the same thing how I came at Joe, because I was a fan first, and then I was educated second when I got a hold of them. And then because I was looking for DNA third, I came with my bag, I already had the bag ready, and I finessed them. But I knew that, if somebody came to me and I was retired, real shit, even if somebody came to me now and came with me to the bag, you might be able to finesse me off of something that I don't want to sell if you have the bag. You understand what I'm saying, y'all? So I came, I saw, I conquered, I got the DNA. So when breaking down my genetics, I come in the game already ahead thanks to Joe and Jackie and their hard work. Their 20 plus years of doing dogs at a high level, American Bulldogs and Bandogs at a high level. I was blessed to get their foundation and their latest one. Now, with their latest one, okay, which is my boy Red Tiger, okay, she told me the flaws and the problems they had with those dogs. Those dogs were the most popular dogs that they produce because of the look of them, okay? Very bully, very muscular, big heads, lots of drive, okay? The look is what was selling for them, and that's where they catered toward. That's what they changed their whole program. They went from performance to looks. And then from that point on, it just broke the dog's performance down. It broke the dog's performance down because the bullier you get, the less performance you get. You understand what I'm saying? The bigger the head, the shorter the muzzle, the less performance you get. And that's what people were buying. They were selling out. She told me they were selling out the litters. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't even keep a litter on the ground. So imagine that. You a dog breeder. You got a lot of dogs. You build your program up. People are starting to know you. People starting to, inquire. People starting to hit referrals. People see your dogs, your productions. Oh shit. Your dogs are becoming more extreme. People liking that extreme bully look. People are, bidding. That's how she said it was for their dogs. They couldn't keep a dog on the shelf. They had a waiting list because they wanted that look, the head, the bone, the wide frames, the muscular. It was almost like a bulldog, like Red Tiger, almost like a bulldog, but just more of a freakish bulldog. Real freak. But the drive on the dog was just tremendous. When I tell you that drive was on another level, when I tell you that, and I got lots of dogs with drive. When I tell you that them dogs that I bought, them latest version, they call them Rocky Mountain Bulldogs. That's what they call them, Rocky Mountain Bulldogs. When I tell you I got Red Tiger and his brother, and the drive was just on a whole nother level, I shit you not. When it come to biting, they want to bite everything, and they bite with, ferocious biting. When it comes to fetching, they'll fetch to the point of no return. When it comes to just prey, they want to get it. It was just crazy to drive. So I was like, those of us who like, prey-driven dogs, when we see that drive, oh, it's exciting. And them dogs excited me like, oh my God. But I remember what she told me. She said, these dogs don't have an on-off switch. That's why I breed all my dogs with on-off switches, world. Because I experienced a dog with no on-off switch. And those of you who have driven dogs, maybe you have witnessed dogs with no on-off switch. I'm sure y'all have. But this is my first time dealing with a dog, multiple dogs that didn't know when to turn it off. It was always on. Something triggered them, they couldn't turn it off. And so these dogs had exactly what she told me that they have. No on-off switch. And she said they'll overheat because they don't know how to turn their drive off. So however they was breeding those dogs, inbreeding, line breeding, adding this outcross, inbreeding, line breeding, adding the outcross, whatever they did in their recipe, created the look that they wanted, right? Okay, even though they didn't get the look that they ultimately wanted, because she was saying they wanted the rears to match the fronts, because it was, they said that the fronts was more extreme than the rears. So, she was giving me game, and salute to Jackie, because she told me the truth. And I appreciate any breeder that tells you, especially when you're spending money, that tells you the truth, unless you choose. She gave me the real. But when I owned the dogs, right? Just like I said, just think of you owning a sports car, just think of you getting a Lambo, really, and you driving it, and it's the fastest one, man. And you a driver too. You know what I mean? You know how to drive. You just, you hit that rev, you just getting it. That's how I was doing with those dogs, man, because they wanted it. But at the same time, I was seeing exactly what she told me. No on-off switch, and the dogs overheat. And so I could only probably work those dogs for probably 15 minutes max. And that was a max. And them dogs wanted to keep working. That's no on-off switch. They didn't want to stop. They didn't want to stop. I put them in their kennel. I had them nice little kennel, shaded. I had 2 buckets of water for them. I'm trying to, keep them cool and shit like that. Man, that boy Red Tiger would run a fucking trench. He ran a trench in his kennel, because I had like I live on like a mountain type, hill type, and I got clay, so it's hard. You know what I'm saying? That that boy Red Tiger ran a trench in some clay. You know how hard it is to run a trench in some clay and rock on a mountain? He ran a trench in that thing, because he's running back and forth, nonstop. He sees something, it's back and forth. I'm like, damn, this dog is crazy. But as a dog man who loves dogs with drive, it excited me. Like, this dog is a beast. All my partners who come by and see the dog, everybody was like, yo, that dog is crazy, man. That dog is a freak. And so, long story short with that, the demise of him was the fact that he had no on-off switch. His brother Brutus died first. You know what I'm saying? He died because I worked him for 15 minutes. I had a timer on him. I only let him work for 15 minutes. I brought him up, and I want to work him in the morning too, because it's cooler in the morning, right? I worked him. Okay. And what I mean by worked them is they love bite work. So me, I'm not putting on no bite suit. I got all the bite suits. I got the sleeve. I got all the shit, but I ain't putting that shit on personally. I ain't, know what I mean? So I got a spring pole. I got the bite toy on there, which is, got the little bite suit material on there. And then I let them bite that, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I let them bite. And then they love to play fetch. So that's how I would work them. You know what I'm saying? Let them bite that. And they love to bite that shit. They love the spring pole. And then the flirt pole, I do the flirt pole with them. So I make sure I get the flirt pole, the bite, and then the fetching. So those are 3 things I did with them, 15 minutes only. So then, I got to pretty much damn near, I got to do some type of fakery just to get the ball out their mouth, because they don't want the ball out their mouth. They want to keep playing. So 15 minutes is up. I bring them up, because I live on this hill. Like I said, I live on a mountain type of hill type. So we got to come up the hill to get to his kennel. So as he's working, I cool him down for a little bit, and then we go up the hill. But as he going up the hill, they always breathe this, they ain't got the intake, because they got that smushed face, and they got that big bully head, right? So he's breathing like, so I'm sure you guys if you guys have dogs that breathe like that, y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. I like dogs that breathe like, not, that's how he was breathing though, right? So I take him up the hill. Right? He goes to his kennel, it's shaded, got his water. First thing he goes to is his water. He drinks his water. I take Red Tiger down. Now it's Red Tiger's 15 minutes of fame, get his little work on. Boom, I bring Red Tiger back up, and my boy's over there in the kennel laying in the corner foaming at the mouth. So I'm already knowing, like, oh shit, it's all bad. So this is my first time dealing with what they call a heat stroke. So I'm cooling them off. I'm doing what I mean, it's my first time. So anyway, man, I'm fighting for this dog's life, trying to save this dog's life, man. Probably about 3 hours trying to save his life. And, went into a seizure, kind of was like a blank. After he had a seizure, he was like blank, like he was alive, but you look in his eyes, it was like blank. It like wasn't like he wasn't there and shit. So I'm like, damn, I waited for like another hour, went in the house, came back, motherfucker was dead, man. You know what I mean? So boom, right there, that's my first experience. What she told me about the latest dogs, the ones that she, the latest versions that they blow up. I experienced one blowing up on me, you know what I'm saying? I only worked them for 15 minutes. So imagine, like I said, if you buying a Lamborghini, you don't want to drive that shit one time. You don't want to drive it, take it to the track and it blow up on you one time in the track. You spent top dollar, you know what I'm saying, for a dog or a car that's going to perform, right? So same thing, but at the same time, I'm not mad at Jackie because she already told me the problems with those dogs. And I told her I didn't care. So there was no like, oh, why? I got this. I already knew what I was buying. You feel what I'm saying? Like I knew I was getting that dog, but I was fascinated because I wanted the recipe. I wanted the old and the new, and I got it. So as soon as that happened, I took my boy Red Tiger, got that boy, got that surgery, the soft, what they call it, the soft palate surgery. $1,300 for that surgery, by the way. So if y'all got dogs that got that breathing problem, it's probably more with inflation now. $1,300 I paid for that surgery. And what they do is they cut that soft palate. So if you guys don't know already, the dogs that have smushed faces, that skin that is let's say from the nozzle, from the snout, pushed in, it goes into their throat. You know what I'm saying? So it goes somewhere and it forms around their throat. They call it a soft palate. You know what I'm saying? So they cut that out to help the breathing. So the doctor was like, okay, he should have about good 85% breathing capacity. That's what he tells me. I'm like, all right, cool. He heals up right after the surgery. Because now I'm like, okay, I'm trying to save this boy's life. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I ain't going to stop him because he has no on-off switch. This is Red Tiger. I'm not going to stop him. He don't know when to turn off. He just got drive. So I'm praying, okay, cool. I got the surgery. I go and I take him to my clinic, get him pulled. Man, the breathing was still kind of the same. Like he still had a not as bad, but still. I'm like, damn, this shit's $1,300 down the drain to me, but it didn't stop him. And then I would say a year later, fam. A year later, I come outside one day, and normally when I come outside, they up. You know what I'm saying? He paces. As soon as I come outside, he paces. He's like, daddy, daddy, daddy. That's how he is. He gonna pace. Man, I didn't see nothing. I'm like, what the heck? Man, I go over there, man, that boy's stiff. I'm like, man, he must have been over there and saw a deer or something, was pacing, because he don't bark or nothing like that. He just be pacing, pacing. So he must have paced himself out and killed himself, man. So I found him dead. So I took an L on both of those dogs. But what I'm saying is this, okay? The recipe I asked him for, the Bandog recipe, I was able to get the original because I asked for the foundation, and I was able to buy, okay, the latest version, okay, by a fluke because it wasn't even sold to the public. He was just keeping a remnant for himself, right? So I was blessed to get the remnant, the latest that nobody else got, which I'll say the 2018 version, and then I was able to get the original recipe, okay? Now watch this. I had a straw. When that happened, I took the Red Bull straw that I bought that I finessed Joe. Okay, I finessed them. Now we get into my recipe. Okay, from their recipe to my recipe. So I just experienced their end product blow up on me. You know what I mean? I'm taking that Lambo out and I'm slutting that Lambo out, but I'm not even slutting it out. I'm not slutting the dogs out because I already know better. But just think of it when you get a Lambo and you spend $300,000 for it. You know what I mean? Like I'm driving this car. I'm not babying this thing, right? So me knowing ahead of time, I said 15 minutes of work because I can see the power of them dogs, but I can hear the the breathing capacity of that breathing capacity wasn't shit. So after I experienced both of them dogs dying, I was like, I'm about to cook up something better, right? So I take the straw, one of my straws. I got 3 straws off of Red Bull. I take the straw and I go and I take it to one of my bitches, and I got some good bitches over here, man. I got some really good bitches. Okay. But I take it to a pit bull bitch because Joe and Jackie said that they wanted to do a pit bull, but it was illegal out there in Colorado. So I got pit bulls and I got real ones. Okay. Okay. And what I mean by real ones is performance based. Okay. Everybody got pit bulls and some people got real ones. I'm talking about performance based dogs that have drive and pain tolerance, none, right? Excuse me, not none, but they don't feel any pain, right? I got dogs like that, drive and then don't feel no pain. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take it was hard for me to choose which bitch I was gonna use, right? Because all 3 of the bitches got some, which is, and all of them made sisters, Holy Spirit, Africa, and Tiny, right? They all got attributes that I liked, but at the same time, I wanted to make sure that I added the right ingredients that was going to enhance performance even more. Now, I never experienced Red Bull, so I don't know. I can only go by what she told me and what others was telling me when they saw me with Red Bull, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take Red Bull. I'm going to throw a pit bull, but I want the pit bull with the most drive that I have and the most game and the pain tolerance. I want them to feel no pain, right? And the one that I chose was Holy Spirit. She's got great structure, beautiful muscle, nice thick rears, match her fronts, game. You know what I'm saying? Game tested, and I'm not saying game tested in fighting dogs because I don't fight dogs. But being that I have multiple prey-driven dogs on my yard, I have 30 dogs, by the way, and they all on a level. Okay. So, and I live on a hill with mountain lions and bobcats and deer and bears. I got all kind of shit, coyotes. So my dog's got plenty of prey stimuli out here. I done seen her in action, and I know her mother, which we used to call the silent assassin, because she was game all the way through. She done killed a lot of things, and that's just on her own. That's not me baiting her. That's just that dog getting loose and you finding something dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, neighborhood, when you live in a neighborhood, somebody come around and, all of a sudden it's a scuffle and that dog's dead. You know what I mean? I've just seen it multiple times. So I was like, okay, this is the dog I want to use to add to Red Bull, Holy Spirit. And so I took that straw. I went ahead and did a TCI, took that Bandog, put it in my pit bull bitch, and then I created my own recipe now. Okay. This is my recipe. This is my vision. Okay. And I created dogs like AR-15. Okay. For those of you who follow me, y'all probably know who AR-15 is. I created his littermate sisters, Prima Donna, Silver Bullet, Nina 9mm, and then I also blessed my one of my family members with one. He's in the dog game too, so I blessed him. I gave him one. Like, how many motherfuckers gonna give? Think about this. I paid top dollar. This is the type of man that the coach is, right? This is the type of man that the dog god is. Okay, you got somebody who's close to you. You did a breeding that's one of a kind. It's yours, right? And then you go and bless. Right? You bless somebody with some shit, right? So I bless my cousin with it. You know what I mean? And hey, let me give a shout out real quick before, let me give a shout out to everybody who's here. You know what I'm saying? Royalty Method, salute to you. Okay, the 6th man, salute to you. James, hey, you already know, baby. Salute to you. James got one of my band dogs. Salute to James. Joy Charles, salute to you. Okay, just want to give out some salutes. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure I acknowledge everybody. But like I said, let me finish this, and then you know what I mean. I'll tap into y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'll answer any type of questions, man. But salute to you guys, man. Thank you for showing up. So I decided to use Holy Spirit. Okay. Now, I didn't know, think about this. I never met a Red Bull, never seen a Red Bull other than a picture. Don't know his temperament, but I know my girl Holy Spirits. And I know what type of band dog based off of what I learned about band dogs, right? Okay, protection dog, good for prey, good for man, right? Prey, man drive. They call them man stoppers. Okay, cool. So my man stopper's got to be Red Bull because my girl Holy Spirit, she's not a man stopper. She's, she loves people. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen her ever be aggressive toward a human. But prey is another whole story. You know what I'm saying? She want to kill, like her mother, like her grandmother. That's in her DNA. I seen it. Okay, in action. The girl don't feel no pain either. You know what I'm saying? Like none. When I tell y'all none. So I just seen that in very athletic, all the shit. I just seen all the attributes in my bitch. But I don't know Red Bull. So I decided to say, you know what? I'm gonna go take her, get her, do the AI, put Red Bull in her. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna produce. So I get these dogs, right? Now I don't know what to expect. I don't know what they're gonna look like. I don't know anything. I'm just cooking now. I'm experimenting. I'm in my lab. I'm taking somebody else's recipe, adding my own ingredients. So as they grow older, okay, I have them growing, I have them growing up around other dogs. I have bullies. I had AK-47 at that time. I had, pit bulls. I got other dogs around, right? And so they're growing up around these dogs, and I'm seeing the difference between my band dogs and my other dogs, my bullies and my pit bulls, right? One thing that I did notice that really impressed me was, I'm going to speak for AR-15, okay? So AR-15, and if those of you who know AK-47, that's my double XL pit bull, okay? AR-15 and and AK-47, they're the same age. They grew up together. Like I had them like in a pair, you know what I'm saying? And AK is a little bit bigger. He's a little bit bigger than AR-15, right? But what I've noticed, right, when they were younger, they used to be able to coexist, right? It was a very competitive relationship between them two. I had them in a pack, and it was a very competitive relationship between them two. What I mean by competitive is that what one did, the other one wanted to do too, which was cool, right? I like that. Oh, y'all, you know what I mean? Y'all want to fetch? Oh, you want to get the same ball? Y'all want to bite the same toy? It was cool. There was no animosity between them at that time when they were younger. Now, this is where, things started to shift, and I started to see the difference in the genetics, okay, as they got older. So being that they were packed up and I would have them doing things together, biting a bite toy together, working out together. I had them doing everything together because I wanted to see the dynamics between the two, me personally. Man, I had them even rooming together. What I mean by rooming together, I had their kennels side by side. One time, it only took one time. They're out there doing the bite toy thing on the spring pole. And they're doing their thing, right? They're both going at it. And they used to be able to both bite at it without any tension, right? All of a sudden, the competitive spirit became personal. When AK, because AK is very intense, AK get that bite toy, and AK will start to shake the shit out of that thing, right? And he shakes it very aggressively. So, and then he makes these noises and stuff, And right when he started making that noise and started shaking, that's when the energy shifted between them, between AR and AK. Okay, and I think they were probably about about 1.5. About 1.5 years old around the time. They're about the same age, so about 1.5 years old. The energy shifted, right? And so once that energy shifted, then AR-15 started to want to dominate AK. So he wanted to go on them, hump them, right? That energy, that humping energy is more of a domination thing, right? So he started to hump on them, and then AK, sensing the energy that was being placed upon him, right? The dominating energy, then the AK started to growl, like, Rrr. So as soon as I felt that energy, I was like, nah, y'all can't be y'all. I mean, y'all can't play with each other anymore. So I stopped them from playing with each other from that point on, right? Because I felt it. I was like, oh, if they start fighting, I'm not going to be able to break this shit up, man. You know what I mean? And I'm the only one out here. So I'm gonna have to either beat somebody till they knocked out. Something's gonna have to happen. And I don't want to get involved in breaking these two up because they're very intense dogs, both of them. So I was able to break that energy up. I stopped the energy. I moved them, you know what I mean? And then from that point, then that's when AR-15 started coming into himself, 1.5. He started getting into that predator. He started to become a predator. What I mean by a predator, he started to antagonize AK because they were right next to each other. So he would go and AK would be like near his kennel, and then he would hit him with his hand. And then if AK is too close, he'll bite him through the kennel. I just started to see the antagonizing, like, okay, this motherfucker is a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like AR is a little bit different than AK. And of course, that's a product of all the different breeds that's in that dog. When I say that boy AR-15 is a predator, like a real predator, like really thinking, like he's a thinking dog, very intelligent dog, and he's very capable. What I mean by capable is that he has the genetic attributes to jump out of a kennel if he wanted to. He's very agile. Okay. I have this thing where I run my dogs up the hill because I live on a hill like a mountain. And I train my dogs. I condition my dogs. One of my conditioning workouts is a hill climb, chasing my dogs with the ATV, right? They'll be ahead of the ATV and I chase them with it, right? AR-15 is fast. AK is fast, but not as fast as AR-15. You know what I'm saying? And then AR-15 has a little bit extra. AK got extra, but AR-15 has a little bit more. So now I'm starting to see, right? I'm starting to see the genetics play out in the dogs. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. But it took me a while to see that. Okay. It took me a while. And I'm gonna answer y'all's questions soon. Okay. Let me finish my story. So keep y'all questions up there, but I'll answer your questions soon. Okay. So I just want to kind of get through this and then I'll answer your questions and stuff like that. So this is when I started to see what was in that Bandog recipe that I produced, and also in a Red Bull, right? Because I never met Red Bull. Remember, I only had the straw. You understand what I'm saying? I never witnessed that dog. I can only go off what she told me the dog was. So I'm like, well, damn, if AK is a very driven dog, okay, he has a pit bull genotype. Okay, he's very strong, very fast, very intelligent, lots of drive. But then I'm seeing this damn project of mine, which is AR-15, like show me a little bit more, show me a little bit more than what I'm seeing with my boy AK, which I'm very impressed with. Okay, I'm impressed with AK. But AR-15 is showing me more. Like AR-15 is showing me the predator. If AK has prey drive, it's selective, right? That's what I would say. A dog like AK-47 Chopper, my boy, if y'all know the dog, y'all know the dog. If you don't, go to my IG and check him out, okay? That's the dog god, AKA the coach, okay? That's my IG. Go check him out. If AK is intense and is athletic and got drive, AR-15 is even more so intense because he has a thought process that he looking for it. AK not looking for it, if that makes sense. He's not looking for the funk. He'll defend the funk, but he's not looking for it. AR-15 is looking for the funk. Matter of fact, he's antagonizing the energy to get it. He wants it, okay? And then also with AR-15, I'm going to tell you this too, okay? This is how genetics work, and you start to see it in your dogs, okay? You hope to get it, but then you start to see it. So AR-15, right? He has him and his sisters the same way. Even AK do it, but I'm speaking about AR-15. AR-15 has a habit of jumping up and down and ripping, like he'll rip the roof off so I have these steel kennels and I got the roof, right? He'll rip the roof. He'll jump up and rip the roof down. So I got to put a lid on him, just like I do AK. AK do the same thing. But AR-15 does it too, right? he rips the roof down, right? And he does it just so that he can get my attention so I can beat him. And then, he gets my attention. He does things just for my attention. I mean, he's very smart. But this fool jumped up into the kennel, like jumped up, and then he fell, like he came down on the latch. Now, how you open the latch on the kennel, he came down on the latch and then split his whole rib, like a big old gash, and had his ribs showing, like the rib bone showing, like a big old gash. He ripped it. So I go out there, right, clean up the kennel, and I'm like checking him out, right? And he's acting normal, but I'm looking like, what the hell is that like do I see his rib? Like I'm looking like, is that a white bone? Bro, this fool split his rib wide open. He wasn't acting like nothing. Like he didn't even feel it. Like I'm going there touching, you trying to touch it and stuff like that. Trying to, I'm touching it. He ain't even feeling it, man. He don't even feel the pain. Like it don't even, like it's not even resonating. Like pain what? And that comes from his mother, Holy Spirit. She don't feel no pain. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, I'm starting to see those attributes that I was looking for when I was cooking up the Bandog. See what I'm saying? Because I'm about performance and I want to see these things, especially if I'm producing the ultimate personal and property protection dog. You understand what I'm saying? I need that dog to be able to take a beating, okay? Whether it be from a man or from prey. I need that dog to be able to take it, okay? And not be willing to cur out because it's in pain. And I'm seeing this in AR-15, just off of him fucking his own. He fucks his own self up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he do. He do stuff to get on your nerves because he's just that type of dog. So as I'm adding my recipe to what Buff Dogs did, I'm seeing that I'm making the performance even better than I'm sure what Red Bull already was. Now, I don't know if Red Bull had the zero, pain as far as feeling pain. I don't know if Red Bull had the intelligence that Holy Spirit brings to the table. I don't know if Red Bull have the athleticism that Holy Spirit brings to the table. I seen the muscle, but Holy Spirit has damn near like the double muscle gene. You know what I'm saying? So you see my bitch Holy Spirit, that bitch is muscled up like a bodybuilder, but perform like a sprinter. You feel me? That's how she is. You know what I mean? So I didn't know specifically what I was going to get, but through AR-15, I was seeing that. Now we go into his sisters, Prima Donna, okay, Nina 9, and then also Silver Bullet, right? 3 sisters, but 3 different looks and 3 different actions, okay? So that's another thing too that you guys need to understand. If you guys are doing dogs, okay, if you guys are doing dogs and you're producing something brand new, you need to keep the whole litter because you don't know what you're going to get. If you're able to do it and you want to see it, you got to keep them all so you can see what they get because you don't know. You don't know. And I didn't know. So I damn near kept them aside from one. So now as far as the sisters go, I mean, damn it, man. Silver Bullet, she's probably the most intense. She's kind of she's one that's almost, okay, with her, I have to watch myself with her because she's kind of, she's not kind of, she's sketchy, man. Like she has such a biting fascination that when she even plays, she bites, and I've gotten bit before in the ribs where she bit me, but it was not like she was trying to it wasn't no ferocious bite. It was more like a, like it was playful, but not, I don't know. It was more like she was getting my attention, but she definitely bit me in my rib. You know what I mean? She got the skin and, just bit, you know what I mean? But it wasn't like she was trying to like, you know what difference between a ferocious bite and just like a nip. It was like a nip, but she did do that. You know what I'm saying? And of course I disciplined her for that, but that's the type of energy that she has. I could see, okay, oh, you're not afraid to bite, you know what I'm saying? Because you bit me because of whatever. Maybe you was frustrated because I moved you out the way, or whatever she was going on, what was going on in her mind, she felt compelled enough to bite me. You know what I'm saying? And I dealt with her accordingly. Very athletic, very muscular, I mean, very capable. I mean, beautiful dog, all the shit. Like she's the package. You see what I'm saying? That's Silver Bullet. Prima donna, super athletic, but she's very apprehensive though. She's a dog that if you come by her, she don't know you, she's gonna have her tail down, damn near tucked. She ain't fucking with you if she don't know you. She ain't letting you, she ain't, if you put your hand next to her, she's not smelling it. She's kind of in the background, very apprehensive. And you know, when them dogs are very apprehensive like that, you got to worry about them biting. And that's the type of dog she is. She's a guard dog by nature. She ain't even gonna bark at you. She's just gonna look at you. She's gonna let you know if you come any closer, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? That's how she is. But she's very athletic, beautiful dog, great structure. I mean, beautiful. And then Nina 9mm, she's like, she was a combination of the both of them. She's apprehensive, but she gonna bark. She's very athletic. She will bite. You know what I'm saying? She had more of the mastiff traits than the other two. Silver Bullet looked more like Red Bull, and then Prima Donna had her own look. You know what I'm saying? But what I would say is this. My genetic recipe and that pit bull just brought out what they already made, already cooked up in the foundation. I just feel that it just made it more athletic, gave it more of a pain tolerance. Okay. I'm sure the size diminished a little bit because of the pit bull. It's not as big as those other dogs. So it brought down the size because I would say AR-15 is anywhere from condition weight, 75 pounds, fully conditioned, because, you know, I like my dog's condition. So I would say 75 pounds condition weight. He can be up to about 85, depending on how you feed the dog. I mean, he could be a 90-pound dog, but I would never have him there. I would say from 85 to 75 pounds is AR-15. And then sisters, you know, we could drop about 5 to 10 pounds from that. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying to you is this. From their vision, from the foundation now, okay, and what they decided to use to get what they got, and from what I've learned from other people who own those dogs, the earlier ones, that they were real man stoppers. They were real prey stoppers. They were very, very capable of doing the job that you would want your band dog to do. That's what I was told from people who've owned dogs off of Red Bull. Okay. Now I produced dogs, the dogs I mentioned off of Red Bull, using a pit bull, and they're very capable. Now, for those of you who are trainers, a lot of individuals think that unless a dog is being trained to do bite work, if it's not trained to do bite work, it is not necessarily a band dog. And I would have to beg to differ. I would say a trainer is like a mechanic that tunes a car up, right? Now, I've never trained my band dog specifically to bite a person. However, I will promise you that if you came with an energy that was not conducive to what my dog was feeling at that time, that dog will give you the blues off of genetic instincts. Understand that. Genetic instincts does this. Now, if you want to fine-tune that dog's genetic instincts, then I would suggest that you get it trained in bite work so that you can pinpoint those genetic attributes that are already in the dog that you have. So the dogs that I produce already have the ability to do the things that a trainer wants to bring out of that dog. You understand what I'm saying? So with me, In my Bandog program, I am like the manufacturer. I'm the engineer. I just produce the dog. You understand what I'm saying? I make the dog. I formulate using genetic characteristics and attributes like parts, and I put them together. And then if I sell it to a person who is a trainer, they can take that dog and bring it out even more of what I already put in it, if that makes sense. Okay. So for me, I don't have the time. I have all the equipment. I have everything to do what I need to do with my dogs. But because I'm a one-man band, I play my position as the engineer, the mastermind, the creator of these type of dogs, working dogs. And because I have the ability to condition my dogs, I want my dogs to look their best. I condition my dogs. I have time for that. But to make a dog bite specifically in a certain way, okay, I don't have the time to do that specifically. Now, that doesn't mean that the dogs that I produce won't bite the shit out you. Do you understand what I'm saying? I just gave you an example of how my dog Silver Bullet, just off of her maybe being, I'm gonna say this, maybe she was agitated by me going into her kennel and moving her out the way I did. I don't know why she gave me that bite, but she bit me. See what I'm saying? She did bite me. Now, she didn't try to hurt me because she know I'm still her owner. She know I'm still daddy. She know I still feed her, but obviously she was not feeling something that I did that she felt that, oh, I'm gonna bite you. See what I'm saying? That's natural in a dog that has those type of a breed that, those breeds in it. That's natural in a dog. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if I'm breeding those genetic characteristics, best believe that those attributes are going to come out. The trainer is only going to bring that out even more. They're going to fine tune it, like I said, like a mechanic. If I'm fine tuning my race car, I'm going to take it to a race car shop that's going to fine tune it. Bring that motor out. Tune that motor out even more. Same thing with your dogs. Okay. So, me breaking down my genetic recipe, I broke down buff dogs, right? Genetic recipe. Okay. All I added to it was the pit bull. Okay. And what I wanted to bring into that recipe was the athletic ability and the gameness, which is the willingness to do the job at hand, regardless of the situation that the dog is in, whether it be duress, exhaustion, pain. Okay. That dog is going to complete the task regardless of how it's feeling in that moment. Okay. That's what I wanted to add to what they've done to that foundation. And I wanted to, hopefully, God willing, correct their latest version, that Red Tiger and Brutus, that 2008, that 2018 version. Okay. I wanted to correct that. Okay. So that's my objective with my program. Okay. And right now I have a performance Buff Dog Bandog version. So I got a spinoff of what they did. Okay. What Buff Dogs did, I call a performance version of the Buff Dogs. I got that. Okay. Right now. I got my AK-74 version of a Bandog. That's AK-47. For those of you guys who don't know AK-47, man, go to my IG, go to my, which is the Dog God, aka the coach on IG. Go scroll down, go check out AK-47, see him for yourself. Okay. I got AK-47 and I made a Bandog out of him. I took one of AR-15's sisters, one of Red Bull's daughters, and bred her to AK-47 to produce a Bandog. And those dogs, and they're puppies right now. They're already showing me exactly what I put in them. They're showing me exactly who AR is, and they're showing me exactly who's AK-47, but times 1,000. I got to say that right now. Times 1,000. Them dogs are so intense. and they want all the smoke. Okay, so I have two versions of that Bandog. Okay, the Buff Dog version, and then my AK-74 version. And then I'm also going to, in the future, make other versions of Bandogs using those recipes. Okay, so in closing, I broke down to you the genetics that's in my dogs. I broke down the genetics that's in the Buff Dogs from the foundation to the present. Okay, in the present, I would say there's other American Bulldogs in there. There's Old English in there. I'm talking about Buff Dogs version, right? Old English in there. They're band dogs that they produce, line bred, inbred type. That's what they did for that latest version, the Red Tigers and the Brutus ones that I got. Okay. But me, what I got going on, I got that working formula, the one that he did not want to let go. Joe. I got that version. You see what I'm saying? So in closing, if you guys have any questions, matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and read the chat and see if I can, if y'all still here, I'll answer some of y'all question. You know what I mean? So let's see here. Okay, Rush, man, blessings to you, man. Good day to you, fam. Okay, what's good, Royalty Methods? The sixth man, what's up? What's up with you, man? You know what I mean? Blessings to you. James, if you here, man, you already know, man. Salute to you. Much love and respect. Okay, so it says, here's a question. It says, what's your tallest XL bully? Let's see here. Who's my tallest one, man? I don't know. I would say it's a tie between the GOAT and also the Prophet. They're about the same height. The GOAT and the Prophet is the tallest XL. Well, they're actually double XL bullies. Anything 150 and above, I'm gonna call a double XL. You know what I'm saying? So them boys is 150 and up, GOAT and the Prophet. So I would say the GOAT and the Prophet, and I would say they're probably about 21 inches, 22, 21 inches, probably 21 inches, I would say, them two. Okay, and let's see what else we got here. Okay, I said the same thing back in 2005 when I first seen on YouTube. Okay, so I'm thinking that is Buff Dogs back in 2005 because that's when I seen them as well. Okay, and it says you only have one straw. That's Royalty Method. He said you only have one straw. No, so I bought 3 straws each dog. So I bought 3 straws off of Red Bull. I bought 3 straws off of Roman. I bought 3 straws off the American Bulldog named Rocky. I bought 3 straws off his father, Ringo. And I bought 3 straws off a dog named Rambo. And there was another dog I bought 3 straws off of. So I bought 6. It was 6 dogs that I bought 3 straws off of. And all of them, the names was with an R. Can you believe that? And I guess that was on purpose for them. So, yeah, I got 3 straws. And then I got 3 straws off of Red Tiger. I was able to pull him once. I got 3 straws off of him. So let's see what else we got here. Okay, it says, so Jay Charles says, how do you make them eat how you want them to? Well, I mean, shit. I mean, if the dog is hungry, they're gonna eat. You feel me, Joy? Like they're gonna eat off that shit when they're hungry. But I mean, that's if the dog is hungry, they're gonna eat. That's the best way I can answer that question. How do you make them eat how you want them to? As far as like, okay, so are you saying in a pack? How do I make a pack eat how I want them to? I don't really understand how to answer that correctly. When I'm dealing with a pack, and I've been doing an experiment right now with a pack, and it's been tough dealing with with these dogs, trying to make them pack up. But what I make sure I do if I'm dealing with pack, like so if they're all together and I'm feeding them, I make sure I'm in the kennel and I'm refereeing. What I mean by refereeing, I'm there. I make sure everybody got their own bowl, and I make sure they eat their bowl and they don't interfere and try to eat the other person's or other dog's bowl of food. You know what I'm saying? I let every dog feel comfortable and not have to worry about the other dogs coming in there and trying to take their food. So if I'm dealing with a pack and I'm letting them eat together, then I referee. I'm in there refereeing, making sure that nobody's food is threatened. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, excuse me, that answers your question, Joy. So, so like I said, in a nutshell, I just wanted to break down my genetic recipe. Like I told you, I was blessed enough to come in the game with somebody else's formula, and I added to that. And so, if you guys are able to, let's say you're in the band dogs, if you're able to tap into a breeder who has a formula that you like, performance wise, okay, genetic breed wise, and the look of it, okay, you like the look of the dog, okay, then, you know, have your money right and spare no expense and get the genetics, especially if you breed in those dogs. Now, if you want a dog for working purposes and you're not planning to breed, make sure the dog is what you want. Like as if you was buying a car and you want it to perform the way you want it to perform and look the way you want it to look. Make sure that you pay for a dog that you expect to look a certain type of way, expect to perform a certain type of way. Okay. Look at the parents, get your perspective on what the parents look like. If they have offspring, you know what I'm saying? You know, productions, look at the productions. Hopefully, based off those productions, that breeding will produce what you see. You know what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to the actual dog and its performance, that's up to you as the new owner to bring that performance out of that dog. Okay? Because a lot of people get dogs, like I was mentioning earlier, a lot of people get dogs, they put them in the backyard, they don't put no time in them, and then them dogs become a liability. You know what I'm saying? Them dogs, lean on to their own devices and they start tearing shit up, or they become, predators, and they start, terrorizing the neighborhood, or they start, doing things things that you don't want. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you put the time in your dog, especially if you buying a band dog. Put the time in your dog. Build the trust and the bond with the dog. Okay. Make sure that that dog knows that you love him or her. Okay. Because when you got a dog that can put damage on animals and people, you want to have a bond to where you can tell that dog, no, stop, and that dog listens to you. You understand what I'm saying? You don't want a dog that's built to be the ultimate personal and property protection dog to be out of control. You do not want that. Trust me. Okay. You don't want it. And so I breed dogs that have that ability. And in my yard, I don't tolerate that energy. Even though I know it's in my dogs, I don't tolerate fighting. I don't tolerate unruliness. I don't tolerate disobedience. I don't tolerate that with my dogs. I will severely punish my dogs if they, you know, show that type of energy. Okay. Because one thing about dogs, they feed off each other. And if they see another dog getting away with it, they feel they can get away with it too. So for those of you who got one dog, it starts with you. It starts with you as the owner, deal with your dog accordingly, build that trust. Okay. And also, too, I must advise you guys this too. If you get a band dog, a man stopper, don't be in a rush to make it mean. Don't do that shit. You know what I mean? It'll backfire on you. Don't do it. Okay. Make that dog feel comfortable just being a companion. Key word, companion. Make that killer that's on your payroll, that's your best friend, understand that he can just be or she can just be a companion. You understand what I'm saying? That's very important when you have a dog that has the ability to do damage to a person or an animal, because you do not want an unstable dog that has the ability to kill. Okay. So I stress it to you. Okay. Make that dog be comfortable with just being chill. Like, please, because we don't want the band dogs getting banned like they want to ban the pit bull. They want to ban the pit bull because the community made the pit bull what it is. You know, a nuisance, right? Unstable. The breeding and stuff made them unstable. The tactics of what they were used for made them unstable. The owners made them unstable. We don't want the band dog when you're taking all these killer breeds to be unstable. If that makes sense, if that makes sense, you don't want it to be unstable because they'll ban these dogs real quick because the dogs that we're using are predatory dogs. They're killer dogs. They're warrior dogs. You know what I'm saying? So be responsible when it comes to these dogs, because I would hate for me being a band dog breeder and I'm cooking up these performance dogs. I would hate for me and all my hard work to now I'm dealing with my dogs being banned because the community of band dog owners and band dog breeders just was irresponsible. So I just want us to be responsible with this band dog, thing that we doing, these band dogs, which is not a breed, but it's a type of dog. I want us to be responsible. And I want us to make sure that we educate those who want to get into band dogs, how to deal with these dogs. And that's what I want to make sure I do with you guys. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're buying a dog from me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be blamed for a dog that I sell you just being a nuisance, because I don't want that to happen, man. I don't tolerate it. That's what I'm saying. I don't tolerate it with my dogs. So, if I'm selling you a high performance dog, I'm going to give you the instructions on how to deal with this dog accordingly. And then when you want to take it to another level, make sure that you train it accordingly so that that dog understands when it can be on and when it can be off. That dog should, even though it's ferocious and it's a killer, it should be chill. You should be able to have it around individuals and tell that dog, hey, it's okay. It's okay. You ain't got to be tense around these people. These people are family. These people are my friends. And that dog understands that, you know what? I know what that means because my owner has told me that I can be chill. He's encouraged me, or she's encouraged me to be chill. And it's okay to be chill. So when my owner says, chill, calm down, that dog registers that, oh, it's chill to calm down because I'm cool with being chill. But then when you wanted to turn on, then the dog knows when to turn on. That's called an on-off switch, y'all. You understand what I'm saying? That's called an on-off switch, which is very important in these band dogs. And not a lot of breeders understand what that is, nor do they breed for that. And how you breed for that is you deal with stable dogs. You make sure you breed stable dogs. If you got a crazy dog, you better breed that crazy dog to a sweet dog. Okay? If you're trying to stabilize it, do you understand what I'm saying? You got to take the polar opposite: crazy, sweet. Hopefully you get it in the middle. See what I'm saying? Hopefully you get a blend. You get that on-off switch from that crazy dog. But if you got dogs who go ham and then it's chill, that's what you want. You want those dogs to breed into. That's stable. That's called an on-off switch. You know what I'm saying? So understand that too. But if y'all don't have any questions, we can wrap this thing up. You know what I mean? Like I said, I do this every Thursday. I'm gonna try to stay consistent with this. I'm a very busy man. I got a lot of work to do. As I get off this line, I got to go take care of some puppies and let dogs out and things of that nature. So, it's work and more work. Y'all always hear me saying that. It don't stop over here. You know what I mean? It's constant. But if you guys want to, take this journey with me and learn more about these band dogs, and we talk dogs, you know what I'm saying? Just really talk dogs and really just turn up with these dogs and really try to, just do something different with the band dog community. I follow the pit bull community because that's where I come from, and the game dogs and stuff like that, man. But I'm not impressed by how the people are in that community, man. A lot of haters, a lot of backbiters, a lot of snitches. You know what I mean? Just it's not a good community. And I don't want that to be the case with the band dog community. I want us to be able to come together and salute one another for our creations and help one another when it comes to what we got cooking up, and give advice and, better what we trying to do. Be responsible with what we trying to do. Make an all-purpose dog that has an on-off switch. Okay. Let's not make these killers that's uncontrollable, because we're going to get banned real quick if that happens. But let's make these performance dogs, these exotic performance dogs that, got the computers on them, man. You know what I mean? Like how, with what I'm doing with the Formula One canines, that's the best of the best when it comes to performance cars. Them cars is the fastest cars in the world, but they got a computer system, man. Things go wrong, the computer system shut things down. You see what I'm saying? Like, we got to think about that when we create these performance dogs. We got to create dogs on that level where everything is working, everything is functional, everything is for a reason. We just not freestyling this shit. We just not throwing a fucking a gumbo of dogs together and thinking that we gonna get something stable. That's not how this dog shit works, especially when you're dealing with band dogs. Don't get carried away and thinking that you're gonna just take all these mixed breeds and do it and you're gonna get a stable dog. That's not how it works. You got to be very selective on the breeds of dogs, the family of dogs that you use. You got to be selective on that shit. Okay. You can't freestyle this, because you're going to freestyle an atomic bomb. Real talk. You're going to freestyle a bomb. It's going to maul a kid, maul a person. You know what I'm saying? Kill somebody. Come on now. We dealing with dogs that are predators. You follow me? So just be aware. Okay. And shout out, James Wright. Shout out to James, man. Okay, he got one of my band dogs. He got an AK-74. And what he say? My pup is very chill. That's what James said. On-off switch. But like I tell James, and like I tell everybody who gets these dogs, okay? And I'm going to give you a testimony before I close out for one of my clients. But with James, like I told James, love on your dog, man. That's your buddy, man. Love on him, man. You just, love on him. Because once that dog gets mature and he starts feeling himself, you're going to start to see the other side. You're going to start to see what is in him, like I saw with AR-15. You know what I'm saying? You start to see what's in those dogs genetically. So as long as that dog knows the chill side is accepted, then you can handle him when he gets rah, rah, rah. You know what I'm saying? You could turn him down. You can turn his volume down. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to James. You know what I'm saying? I'm like I said, I'm always there for him. Anything he need help, I'm there for him. But he got a next level band dog of mine. I mean, he ain't seen shit yet. You see what I'm saying? But I'm excited for him. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm gonna give y'all a testimony real quick. So I bred AR-15, which is my Neapolitan Mastiff, German Boxer, American Bulldog, game pit bull, okay, cross, right? Red Bull, the Holy Spirit. Okay, that's my band dog, AR-15, the male. I bred him to my American Bulldog bitch, Tiger. She's a full-blooded American Bulldog, okay? The sporting kind. What I mean by the sporting kind, she's more like a pit bull. She's got the extreme front, but she's real lean and muscled out like a pit bull, and she got drive like a pit bull that can breathe. She don't have that. She breathes, breathe, drive, stamina, but she's a bulldog, right? So I did that breeding. I did that band dog breeding, right? I call it the AR-15 high performance band dog. Okay, which is more of a buff dog band dog type. So I sold this dog, okay, one of the puppies, to a gentleman in New York. Okay. He was familiar with Red Bull, him and his partner, right? Because it was him and his kennel partner. They bought the dog together. He's familiar with the buff dogs. They're familiar with it. So they were excited about me bringing them back and also doing the breeding with AR-15, having the pit bull in them, and then also going to the American Bulldog. So they're breeders as well. They're into Bandogs. They're into Malinois. You know, they're seasoned dog men, and they do protection, all that shit. So they're seasoned. So I like selling my dogs to individuals like them. So they buy a male off that breeding, right? They're excited about it. You know, I tell them all the attributes, everything. I tell them about the on-off switch, all the shit. So, he gets my dog, and he's got multiple dogs. So he's got his dogs in a pack. That's how he has all his dogs. He just has them in a pack, and he's an alpha there, so he controls them. But he's got killers in the pack, and he's got all kind of different crosses. So he got Malinois in the pack. He's got a Alibi and the Kangal mix in the pack. He got certain type. He got this Mastiff in this type of mix. He's got this Rottweiler mix. He's got a game pit bull. He's got all these dogs in the pack, right? And so he introduces my puppy in the pack with the on-off switch. Remember, I got an on-off switch on my dog. So, as the dog gets older, about 6 months, we communicate back and forth. He's telling me, oh man, he's like, oh man, what's his name is like a little cupcake. He calls him. He can name him Red Rum, right? He's like, man, Red Rum's a cupcake, man. He's just a little sweetheart, man. He kind of stays away from all the other dogs. And I was like, hold on. I said, hold on, man. I said, remember when I told you that I breed my dogs with on-off switches? Remember that I told you that I don't want these dogs to be a liability? I said, that dog is doing exactly what I bred him to do. That dog is using his brain. You got killers around this dog. You got killers around this puppy. That dog is not going to come in there and be reckless. Like, for example, you know how when we used to do gang dogs, right? And you heavily inbreed, right? But you heavily inbreed crazy to crazy. And so when you heavily inbreed crazy to crazy, right? The puppies come out crazy, right? The puppies come out killing each other. Think about it. 6-week-old, 8-week-old puppies fighting and trying to kill it. They don't know, them puppies shouldn't know how to do that. But when you breed that craziness, that's what you get. So that's what he's, kind of insinuating that he wanted to see in this dog that I sold him, right? Now, he's not downplaying him, but he's kind of downplaying him, right? So long story short, I say, hey, man, remember I told you I put on-off switches in my dogs, man? Remember I told you I don't want my dogs to be a liability? He's doing exactly what I bred him to do. I said, brother, if you want him to be that type of dog, do agitation work with him. Agitate that dog. Piss him off. Turn on that energy that I told you that is on-off, right? It's off now because the dog don't know better. The dog wants to be a dog. You know what I'm saying? He's a puppy. He wants to be lovey-dovey with the kids, and he sees those dogs, those big dogs. He's not trying to fight with them because he knows he probably get murdered with them dogs, right? So check this out. A month ago, he hits me up. He says, Coach, he sends me a picture of a bite mark on his leg, right? He says, Coach, man, the dog, man, your boy Red Rum is showing me a little something. Look, he just bit me, right? I'm like, bro, why is the dog biting? He's like, man, I did that. I was agitating him and he bit me. So he had a bite mark in his leg from the dog biting him. So I'm like, look, man. But see, he's encouraging this. You see what I'm saying? He's that type of guy. He's encouraging this type of energy from this dog. I said, look, man. I said, look, you already turning this dog up, and you should just let him just chill. Just let him chill. He's just a puppy. I'm just telling him, that's my, if I design the dog, I'm supposed to give you advice on how to deal with the dog because I designed the dog. That's what I'm supposed to do. And I'm telling him, like, don't encourage this dog to be this now because he's just young. Let him be comfortable with being a sweetheart because you want to stabilize him because he's going to turn on his own. You feel what I'm saying, y'all? The dog is going to turn up by himself. He don't need you to agitate him. But since you want to see him as a puppy turn up, agitate him. So he did. He got bit. The dog bit his ass. Okay. Then he hits me again 2 weeks after that. He says, Man, Red Rum is 1-0. No, 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 no. Hold on. I went too far. He hits me again. And he says, he has a game pit bull. He has a game pit bull. Okay. Game bloodlines, all them bloodlines for you game guys. Okay. There's a lot of y'all game dog, love all them old school Eli, Mayday, Chinaman, all them different bloodlines, right? He got one, he one of them top dog men with those. He hits me up and says, bro, I had to save my game dog because Red Rum almost killed my game dog. I had to break him off to my game dog because he had him by the neck, and I had to save my game dog's life because he was killing them. That's what he said about a puppy. So understand what he's doing now to this dog who automatically has an on-off switch, who just wanted to be a puppy. He's agitating this dog. He's turning this dog up at an early age. Now he's damn near killed his game dog. Okay? He damn near killed it. He told me off the top, like, no, I had to break him. He almost killed my game dog. Okay, I had to save my game dog's life. That's what he said. Okay. So then he hits me up again. So now understand what he's doing now to this dog, the impression that he's doing, putting into this puppy's computer. He's telling this dog it's okay to be this way at a young age. Okay. This is what he's programming this dog to do who has an on-off switch. Okay. So now the dog is agitated. Now the dog is trying to kill one of his dog, the game dog, right? Because now he's being challenged and now he's going up to the challenge, right? It's already in the dog because he has all those dogs in him and more. Okay. And he's stronger than that game dog. So then he hits me up again. He says, Coach, the dog is 1-0. He says, Red Rum is 1-0. He calls him Rum. Rum is 1-0. He sends me a text and says that the dog killed the Malinois. Killed the Malinois and ate it. Okay. He comes back home to the Malinois dead, and the dog ate the Malinois, ate the guts, ate all the shit. The dog I sold him ate the Malinois. He says 1-0. So he's bragging about it. Okay, so this is what he liking this shit. I'm like, dog, I'm like, bro, you just turned this dog into a cannibal now. Now he's eating your dogs and killing your dogs now. You know what I'm saying? And then he hits me up again. Says, hey man, my dog brought me a trophy. Send me a picture of the dog's, the Malinois' head. So he buried the dog. The damn dog Red Rum, dug the dog up and brought the head back. And he cleaned it up. The dog it's just a skeleton of the head. They don't got nothing on the dog. The dog is just a skeleton. He shows me the head of the dog and also the leg, the femur of the dog. He shows me. He brought the dog I sold him, brought it to the front door. So this is what I'm saying. These are the dogs that I'm producing. You see what I'm saying? Like, these dogs are capable of doing the job, man. But what I'm telling you, if you ever buy a dog from me, is make sure you nurture that on and off switch. Do not be in a rush to bring that out of my dogs. You understand what I'm saying? Don't do it. Because when that dog is old enough to know what he can do, and you have not nurtured that off switch, then that dog's going to be a problem. It's going to be what Jackie told me the original buff dogs, those Red Bull type dogs, was doing when people had them. And also what people was telling me, the ones that bought them, was telling me how those dogs was killing shit. Okay? Was killing shit. Was mauling people. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say, when you create these dogs that we talk about, these band dogs, that's what they're built for. The ultimate personal and property protection dog. They built to kill prey. They built to kill man. If you don't train or you don't breed, for me, I'm a breeder, I design it. If I'm not designing these dogs with on-off switches, I'm selling you a time bomb. I'm selling you a lawsuit. You might see that dog, oh, that dog's cool, man. Oh, look at that dog, look at the muscles of the dog. Man, if that dog get a hold of you and you can't control it, it's a wrap. You can't control that dog, it's a wrap. And remember when I told y'all this, and I'm going to close out. Remember I told y'all this when I had AR-15 and AK together, and they was like buddies, and they was working together, and then I saw the tension rise, and then, AR-15 tried to dominate him, try to put his energy on him, and the AK started growling. And I was like, I instantly broke that shit up and separated them because I didn't want to break that up because I knew for a fact that I couldn't break them up. I would probably have to take a shovel, and it might not even work. I probably had to take a shovel and knock them both out, okay? Because I'm by myself. I would have to knock them both out because if I had my break stick and I broke one of them off, the other one ain't letting go. So even if I broke the one off, once I break the one off, I pull them off, the other one got the lock on them. I had to break the other. There's no way I can break them off. You see what I'm saying? I would have to have two people there. Somebody, it's just me. I knew I wouldn't be able to break them dogs up. You understand what I'm saying to y'all? So me being a seasoned dog man, breaking up dog fights, knowing dog energies, knowing my capabilities of even coming in between the dog that's strong, damn near stronger than me, okay, that will fuck me up if it bit me. I know better. But certain people, right? And like I said, I'm not knocking my brother too, who, that's on him. But like I said, for me as the one who designed it, I'm supposed to give you instruction. Now that's your dog. You do what you choose to do with your dog, right? But me as the designer, the engineer of that dog, I'm supposed to give you instruction. And I gave him instruction. I told him to nurture that dog. And I know my brother James can attest to that. I told him the same thing. Love on your dog, nurture your dog. Okay? Because you want to tell that dog in his psyche it's okay to calm down. So when you see him riling up, you say, hey, chill, calm down. No, hey, hey. The dog snaps out of it. When you break that energy from him, he understands when you break it, it's okay. But if that dog don't know better and is going off his natural instincts to want to kill, wants to use his prey drive because it's natural, you ain't going to be able to stop that dog. You understand what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to stop these dogs. So please take heed to what I'm telling you. And if you buy a dog from me, I'm gonna give you instruction, man. I'm not like I said, you're not gonna blame me as the designer of that. When you, like I said, if I design a Ferrari and you buy it and you crash it or you blow it up, I gave you the owner's manual. I gave you the instruction. You blew it up. You crashed it. You was done. That was, that's on you. But if you follow my instructions for my dogs, you're gonna have a balanced dog. You know what I'm saying? When it's time to work, it's gonna go to work. You know what I'm saying? When it's time to chill, be around the family, it's gonna chill and be around the family. You know what I mean? It's gonna be cool. So if y'all don't have any other questions, be humble, get humble. Hey, salute to you, man. Welcome. If you missed it, man, hit the rewind. We got 2 hours of this, man. Hit the rewind. I break down all the, the genetics of my Bandog recipe. I make it very interesting and all that good stuff, man. So you can come back and piggyback. But, like you said, these dogs ain't nothing to play with. And salute, Rush. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I appreciate you, man. Much love and respect to you. All y'all, man. All y'all who showed up in the chat. You know what I mean? This is only the third one. So like I said, I'm hoping to, to grow this. And, maybe we'll get other Bandog breeders to come in and chime in. And we can build this community right. And I really honestly feel, as I close out, I really honestly feel that the Bandog, okay, done right, will be the next wave when it comes to popular dogs. Because you can create something, okay, just like how all breeds are created, okay? You can create something that's your own. But performance is the focal point. You see what I'm saying? It's not looks. Okay, like with the bullies and stuff. And I ain't got nothing against the bullies. I ain't got nothing against nobody in the breeds. Just do your own thing. Even exotics, I don't nothing. But over here with the Bandogs, it's performance first. You see what I'm saying? Functionality, health, performance. See? It's performance. That's an art form. Making a dog look a certain way, that's not as hard as making a dog perform, right? Because performance, you can't see with your eyes. Like, you can't see a dog that has good lungs and can breathe well. You can't see a dog's drive like with your eyes from first sight. You got to test it. You got to test the dog and see, okay, well, damn, that dog can breathe good because I done put it through a lot of strenuous work and it can breathe. Or look at the drive. I done tested it on this animal. I done tested it on this toy. I done tested it on this bite sleeve. Look at the drive. It's got all, like, you have to test that when you're doing things visually, like with most of these dogs, like the bullies, it's just, shit, I make it big, got a big head, short in the back, the muzzle. That's easier. Band dogs is harder. You see what I'm saying? And you got to make it look good too. A lot of these band dogs look like shit. Keep it real with y'all. So if y'all don't have any questions, I'm about to wrap it up. You feel me, you guys? We've been 2 hours into this talk. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully I'll see you guys back on Thursday night, 6:15 p.m. Pacific time. And, we'll get it in, we'll get it in again. You know what I'm saying? We'll break it down some more and, I'll keep it interesting. You know what I mean? Like I said, I want to teach, but, I want to really grow this community and I want it to be on a level because, what I'm doing and the money that I spend on my dogs and the time I put in, I'm trying to get top tier money for my dogs over time. Like I want to get top tier dollar because I'm really putting together a complete dog that performs as good as it looks. You know what I'm saying? So I take pride in my work. I take pride in my dogs. And I want you as a consumer, if you ever buy one of my dogs, to get it and be like, yeah, I see why Coach be talking. I see why the dog guy be talking the way he do. You know what I'm saying? Frames, brains, and motors. You know what I'm saying? I can see why them dogs perform the way the dog guys say. You know what I mean? Because I got one. Every time I bring it out, everybody's oohing and ahhing. When I got it out there performing, it's outperforming every dog that's around. Like that's what I'm producing. You know what I mean? It's going to wow people when they see it, and it's going to outperform any dog out there. So I deserve top tier dollar in the future. You see what I'm saying? I deserve it because I'm producing a complete dog. Frames, brains, and motors. All three. Formula One of this shit. So if y'all ain't got any questions, man, we're going to wrap it up, man. But hey, please come out next Thursday, man. All y'all, salute to Joy, salute to Rush, salute to James. Be humble or get humble. Salute. Let's see who else. What we got? Royalty Methods. Salute. The 6-man salute. All y'all that came out, man. I appreciate you guys for coming out and come back again. You know what I mean? But until next time, you know what I'm saying? The coach got to get back to this work and more work 3 times, man. The work don't stop over here, man. I still got work to do. I got to let dogs out, take care of puppies, all the shit. So again, salute to y'all, man. Much love and respect. Blessings to y'all.